Today's reading from the Old Testament, Leviticus 13:34 through 14:28. And the priest has seen the scale on the seventh day, and behold, the scale is not spread in the skin, and its appearance is not deeper than the skin. And the priest has pronounced him clean, and he has washed his garments, and has been clean. And if the scale spreads greatly in the skin after his cleansing, and the priest has seen him, and behold, the scale has spread in the skin, the priest does not seek for the shining hair. He is unclean. And if in his eyes the scale has stayed, and black hair has sprung up in it, the scale has been healed, he is clean, and the priest has pronounced him clean. And when a man or woman has bright spots in the skin of their flesh, white bright spots, and the priest has seen, and behold, white and faded bright spots are in the skin of their flesh, it is a freckled spot broken out in the skin. He is clean. And when a man's head is polished, he is bald, he is clean. And if his head is polished from the corner of his face, he is bald of the forehead, he is clean. And when there is in the bald back of the head, or in the bald forehead, a reddish-white plague, it is a leprosy breaking out in the bald back of the head, or in the bald forehead. And the priest has seen him, and behold, the rising of the reddish-white plague in the back bald part of the head, or in the bald forehead, is as the appearance of leprosy in the skin of the flesh. He is a leprous man. He is unclean. The priest pronounces him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. As for the leper in whom is the plague, his garments are torn, and his head is uncovered, and he covers up the upper lip, and he calls, "Unclean, unclean." He is unclean all the days that the plague is in him. He is unclean. He dwells alone. His dwelling is at the outside of the camp. And when there is a plague of leprosy in any garment, in a garment of wool or a garment of linen, or in the warp or in the woof of linen or wool, or in a skin, or in any work of skin, and the plague has been greenish or reddish in the garment, or in the skin, or in the warp, or in the woof, or in any vessel of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and it has been shown to the priest. And the priest has seen the plague, and has shut up that which has the plague for 7 days. And he has seen the plague on the seventh day, and the plague has spread in the garment, or in the warp, or in the woof, or in the skin, of all that is made of skin for work. The plague is a fretting leprosy. It is unclean. And he has burned the garment, or the warp, or the woof, in wool or in linen, or in any vessel of skin in which the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy. It is burned with fire. And if the priest sees, and behold, the plague has not spread in the garment, or in the warp, or in the woof, or in any vessel of skin, then the priest has commanded, and they have washed that in which the plague is, and he has shut it up for a second 7 days. And the priest has seen that which has the plague after it has been washed, and behold, the plague has not changed its aspect, and the plague has not spread. It is unclean. You burn it with fire. It is a fretting in its back part or its front part. And if the priest has seen, and behold, the plague has faded after it has been washed, then he has torn it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it is still seen in the garment, or in the warp, or in the woof, or any vessel of skin, it is a fretting. You burn it with fire, that in which the plague is. And the garment or the warp, or the woof, or any vessel of skin which you wash when the plague has turned aside for them, then it has been washed a second time, and has been clean. This is the law of a plague of leprosy in a garment of wool, or of linen, or of the warp, or of the woof, or of any vessel of skin, to pronounce it clean, or to pronounce it unclean. And Yahweh speaks to Moses, saying, This is a law of the leper in the day of his cleansing, that he has been brought to the priest. And the priest has gone out to the outside of the camp, and the priest has seen, and behold, the plague of leprosy has ceased from the leper. And the priest has commanded, and he has taken for him who is to be cleansed 2 clean living birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest has commanded, and he has slaughtered 1 bird on an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he takes it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and has dipped them and the living bird in the blood of the slaughtered bird over the running water. And he has sprinkled on him who is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and has pronounced him clean, and has sent out the living bird over the face of the field. And he who is to be cleansed has washed his garments, and has shaved all his hair, and has bathed with water, and has been clean. And afterwards he comes up into the camp, and has dwelt at the outside of his tent for 7 days. And it has been on the 7th day, he shaves all his hair, his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shaves. And he has washed his garments, and has bathed his flesh with water, and has been clean. And on the 8th day he takes 2 lambs, perfect ones, and 1 ewe lamb, a daughter of a year, a perfect one, and 3/10 parts of flour for a present, mixed with oil, and 1 log of oil. And the priest who is cleansing has caused the man who is to be cleansed to stand with them before Yahweh at the opening of the tent of meeting. And the priest has taken 1 male lamb, and has brought it near for a guilt offering, also the log of oil, and has waved them as a wave offering before Yahweh. And he has slaughtered the lamb in the place where he slaughters the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For like the sin offering, the guilt offering is for the priest. It is most holy. And the priest has taken of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest has put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot. And the priest has taken of the log of oil, and has poured it on the left palm of the priest. And the priest has dipped his right finger in the oil, which is on his left palm, and has sprinkled of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. And of the remainder of the oil, which is on his palm, the priest puts it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot, on the blood of the guilt offering. And the remnant of the oil which is on the palm of the priest, he puts it on the head of him who is to be cleansed. And the priest has made atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest has made the sin offering, and has made atonement for him who is to be cleansed from his uncleanliness. And afterward he slaughters the burnt offering. And the priest has caused the burnt offering to ascend, and also the present on the altar. And the priest has made atonement for him, and he has been clean. And if he is poor, and his hand is not reaching for these things, then he has taken 1 lamb for a guilt offering, for a wave offering, to make atonement for him, and 1/10 a part of flour, mixed with oil for a present, and a log of oil. And 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, which his hand reaches to, and 1 has been a sin offering, and 1 a burnt offering. And he has brought them on the 8th day for his cleansing to the priest, to the opening of the tent of meeting before Yahweh. And the priest has taken the lamb of the guilt offering and the log of oil, and the priest has waved them as a wave offering before Yahweh. And he has slaughtered the lamb of the guilt offering, and the priest has taken of the blood of the guilt offering, and has put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot. And the priest pours of the oil on the left palm of the priest. And the priest has sprinkled with his right finger of the oil which is on his left palm 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest has put of the oil which is on his palm on the tip of of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot, on the place of the blood of the guilt offering.
Today's reading from the New Testament, Mark chapter 6, verse 45 through chapter 7, verse 10. And immediately he constrained his disciples to go into the boat, and to go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, until he may let the multitude away. And having taken leave of them, he went away to the mountain to pray. And evening having come, the boat was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. And he saw them harassed in the rowing, for the wind was against them. And about the 4th watch of the night he comes to them walking on the sea, and wished to pass by them. And they, having seen him walking on the sea, thought it to be an apparition, and cried out, for they all saw him, and were troubled. And immediately he spoke with them, and says to them, Take courage, I am, do not be afraid. And he went up to them in the boat, and the wind stilled, and greatly out of measure they were amazed in themselves, and were wondering. For they did not understand concerning the loaves, for their heart had been hard. And having passed over, they came on the land of Gennesaret, and drew to the shore. And they, having come forth out of the boat, immediately having recognized him, they ran around through all that surrounding region, and they began to carry around on the pallets those being ill, where they were hearing that he is. And wherever he was going, to villages or cities or fields, in the marketplaces they were laying the ailing, and were calling on him, that they may touch, if it were but the fringe of his garment, and as many as were touching him were saved. And gathered together to him are the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, having come from Jerusalem. And having seen certain of his disciples with defiled hands, that is, unwashed, eating bread, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, if they do not wash the hands to the wrist, do not eat, holding the tradition of the elders. And coming from the marketplace, if they do not immerse themselves, they do not eat. And many other things there are that they receive to hold immersions of cups and pots and bronze vessels and couches. Then the Pharisees and the scribes questioned him, Why do your disciples not walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat the bread with unwashed hands? And he answering said to them, Well, did Isaiah prophesy concerning you, hypocrites, as it has been written? This people honors me with the lips, and their heart is far from me. And in vain they worship me, teaching teachings, commands of men. For having put away the command of God, you hold the tradition of men, immersions of pots and cups, and many other such like things you do. And he said to them, Well, do you put away the command of God that you may keep your tradition? For Moses said, Honor your father and your mother, and he who is speaking evil of father or mother, let him die the death. Today's reading from the Psalms, chapter 31, verses 4 through 10. Bring me out from the net that they hid for me, for you are my strength. Into your hand I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, Yahweh, God of truth. I have hated the observers of lying vanities, and I have been confident toward Yahweh. I rejoice and am glad in your kindness, in that you have seen my affliction. You have known my soul in adversities, and you have not shut me up into the hand of an enemy. You have caused my feet to stand in a broad place. Favor me, O Yahweh, for distress is to me. My eye, my soul, and my body have become old by provocation. For my life has been consumed in sorrow, and my years in sighing. My strength has been feeble because of my iniquity, and my bones have become old.
Today's reading from the Proverbs, chapter 6, verses 13 through 14. Winking with his eyes, speaking with his feet, directing with his fingers, contrariness is in his heart, devising evil at all times. He sends forth contentions.